welcome back to another episode of NFT Artist Spotlight, hosted by AstroZero. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.
Today on AstroZero Twitter Spaces, we have a very important person in the Polygon community. She's a photographer, storyteller, AI artist, Twitter Space host, and most importantly, a very proud and fantastic mother. We got Vanessa with us. How are you, Vanessa?
Wow, thank you so much for that intro. I really appreciate it. It touched my heart. Thank you. I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually, sitting down for the day after being a lone one. I was looking forward to be here. Excited.
You know, one thing I always think about when I hear your name and hear you talking is the first thing that you always say is you put your children first ahead of any type of art that we're talking about. You come in here and the first thing I always hear you talking about is I'm making my kids pancakes, I'm making my kids breakfast, and then like you hear them yelling in the background. So when I think of you, the first thing I think of is a caring mother. So it's just cool that we kind of have like that little. That's like the thing that grabs my attention when I see you come into the room before anything else.
Thank you so much.
So how many kids do you have?
I have two boys. My oldest son, his name is Alan, and he just turned 2 years old on the 6th this month. And my youngest is 7 months old. So I'm a new mom. I guess, I was like, let's get this and let's go.
That's awesome.
And
so, what got you into NFTs? Like, what was the thing that kind of spawned you into getting into the NFT world? And which collection that you have up, because you have several of them, was the first one that you had posted for sale?
all right, so I got into NFT basically due to like investing in crypto, and like when Chip came around, Shiba Inu. I guess I was into like investing a lot and watching all these YouTube videos, and I ran into this guy, Europe Pop, and this other dudes talking about this collection called Bad Baby Dinos, and I guess I did pretty well investing on some of the coins they suggested, and I was like, okay, what's Bad Baby Dinos? And before that, it was like Shiba Inu, and uh, all this coin, I saw like half-ass basically all these NFTs went, and I was like, what is this? So when I heard about Baby Dinos, I was like, I can't miss out on this. Like, if I'm gonna become like a millionaire, how easy they make it. So I'm like, I had to get to NFT, and I basically got into NFT as a collector. I was on the Ethereum, I guess, blockchain until I ran into Beluga, and that's how it went for me. And I was like, more than amazed that he added me to this artist group where I connected and I saw so many talented people, and basically making their art as NFT. They kind of opened my mind up, and I'm like, I have all this art that I want to share, I have all these ideas that I want to create, and I think this is for me, and that's how like my journey started. And yes.
How did you hear about them? Did you hear about them like on TV, or did you like see something on Facebook, on Twitter?
On YouTube, like I will be like doing stuff around the house. That's my youngest. I'm spinning him around. You might find me like running out of breath, but I'm playing at the same time. So I will like do things around the house, and like I had like my side little jobs. Uh, for like there's this application like Amazon Torque that you complete like tasks like they're basically AI tasks like that, like, well, not AI. It's like basically you can do things that the computer cannot do for you. Um, as a side gig, and I was investing into crypto because since I became a mom, I decided kind of to leave all the everything I had and raise them for like the first 3 years or their life until they're able to talk and express themselves and yeah, I mean that's that's how about my journey went. And then around the house when I was like doing all these things, I would like use my speaker and watch the whole day like videos about crypto, and then until we got into NFTs, and that's how I learned basically on YouTube. Like it's I guess a platform where everybody goes and learn. And I became obsessed, like reading news and everything about crypto. And I'm like, I started like telling my family what this crypto movement was about. Then I joined Discord, and oh my god, yeah, that's when things got real. I joined like a crypto community. Uh, until I got tired of basically being rocked because people were so hype and took some coins and they're like, "Oh, buy this coin, it's gonna make you rich," and then I will like, "Oh, I'm gonna invest," and then 5 seconds later, oh, we got rocked. So I was like, it's not for me. And then I ran into this thread in the Discord that they were talking about NFTs, and then I joined the Baby Dino. That's where I met like Grandma Love Crypto, like a bunch of people that are part of the community now. Grandma basically she was not on open sea, like she only has some like piece at the beginning in Ethereum, and then I was like, hey grandma, we have the Polygon community, like, and you can basically mint for free, and gas, no gas and all this. And she was like, what? And then you know uh, we kind of tied together. She's mom, and I am mom, I'm sorry, and she's grandma. And always, even though that she is grandma, I tell her that I am her mom. So when you said that when I come here in the spaces, you see me as a caring person, I guess that's how I am becoming, not just to my kids, but to everyone that I run in the spaces.
So lately, you've been using a lot of AI art. I've seen. Now, this is something that interests me because myself personally, I'm not really a very artistic person. So I have messed around with a couple um, programs like Night Cafe, and I kind of do like little cool things with it, but I'm not really like 100% certain on how to do it. Now, if I wanted to get into AI art, would I need like a pretty powerful computer in order to generate stuff, or could I kind of do it with like a laptop, let's say that I buy at Best Buy?
Well, not really. I can tell you. Listen, I discover that's why my AI collection. My first one is called Vance Discover AI, because it was actually 2 days before um, my creative owl had his Christmas event, and basically I made some and I was showing it in the Polygon community, and everybody was like, "What?" And I meant it, and people started buying right away. And I meant it like 50, and they were selling within seconds. People were like, are these butts buying it? And anyone so well. And as I started like playing, and I started in Night Cafe, like everything started like getting better, and I guess people started liking the art. I started getting feedback, and I continue. But when I started like I said on Night Cafe, and it was from my phone and it was from my computer. You can do it from your any, I guess, smart device that you can log into the internet like a browser, and you just go there, log into your account, and you're set. Unless now that you have gained experience, you go to the bigger programs like Google has its own like AI. There's another Nebula platform coming out that you can create AI. I mean, there's a bunch out there. You just have to do like your research and see what suits you the best, and what you think you can do, because it can be a little challenge. Like Night Cafe is really friendly user, but then when you get to the other one, it's like, what is this? But it's really fun, and I recommend it to everyone to try it, especially if you feel like you're not an artist and you have too many things in your head and you're a creative person. Write whatever you have in your head.
So what do you have to do? You have to change like a whole bunch of different parameters, and then it'll render whatever the computer generates, and then if you don't like it, you could kind of revert back to your original image and try it over again.
Well, like on the night cafe is actually like even easier than that. You can use like for text prompts, and you describe the image, and you can add modifiers, and you can enhance. Like you can run it like from whenever you feel like okay, I read it and this is the image. I like how it looks. Okay, you go for it. Um, but night cafe is really simple, like that, and you can also use your own photography, And I'm not gonna say like don't like I don't really suggest people going and using whatever's on the internet, like try to use yours. Like when it comes to landscape, I use my own real photography to get my AI, and yeah. And then, like, when you get to the Google ones and all that, that's when you get to those options and it becomes difficult. That's when you basically have an artist working from 4 hours today running an image, because, they're trying to run and make the perfect image that they have in their head instead of Night Cafe that is, like I said, a little more easier.
Yeah, it was very easy for me when I went on there. Like I know absolutely nothing about any of this stuff, and I don't know if it was good what I did, but I did something, and that kind of made me feel like I accomplished a little bit, even though I'm not like when I tell you I'm like a really horrible like artist. Like I'm not good visually transposing things. I'm more like with music and stuff. Like I'm better like that. Like I could play a song relatively quickly if you like hum it to me and stuff like that. So I'm much more better with the auditory than the visual type side of art. But we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. But the night cafe and like AI art and stuff like that, it's always interested me because I'm like I might be able to make something good here. And I did some like silly stuff here and there, but it was fun. I liked it. That's probably what I'm gonna get into if I actually decide to drop like my own drawn NFT project, probably with an AI type art. Um, have you collaborated with any other artists in the Polygon community yet and made like a dual collection with them?
Well, I have, well, on February before we had the broken zip. See, I was supposed to drop some news with my creative owls. Like, we're planning to drop a collection in March of AI owls. They've been made for a while already, since December, and I really love them. So that's like one of my biggest collab. I decided to like, I was like, I'm gonna stay exclusive to him. And another collab that is they're working on recently is with Free Spirits NFT. Um, so they're making an NFT kind of more like a spirit by ghost, and I also write spirit stories for them. And I kind of took a break from my spirit stories because I guess like life is too many things going on right now, and I'm too tired sometimes to stay up and wait for them to tell me their story. So um, I knocked out, and that's like mostly the two collabs I have going on. And also, I became the storyteller for Sorry Jetty. I don't know if you guys heard them before. They're on the Ethereum network. And yes, I'm right now working on my jukebox so I can, you know, put my project on the capsule.
Yeah, I went into your spatial gallery earlier today and I saw that you have like some Sleepy Pirate stuff in there too.
Well, this is more like a tribute to him for basically like telling me, "Hey, girl, get in here. Like, I need someone to be my co-host, or can you host some like spaces?" So he motivated me actually to be more active, and it has worked a lot for me, like being able to do that. So I was like, like Sleepy, you have done so much to me that I have to support you. And he's a great friend that when I wake up, I have a message from Sleepy. Like, we have even FaceTime each other, and then he always makes fun of me. Like, he says I'm a witch, and he calls me Jennifer. So I was like, this guy makes me laugh. I'm like, I am married and I have kids, like, so I don't take the flirting part, but besides that, you have an awesome and amazing heart, and you do so much for the community. So like Sleepy, I support him a lot, and like when he's feeling down, I'm like, what's going on? I try to make him laugh, and I guess that's why I'm awesome here in the spaces to like, I guess, help a lot of people. And Sleepy is one of my favorite friends out there.
So would you consider your main collection Vance Discovers AI, or do you kind of equally weight all of your collections? Like what one, if you wanted somebody, if somebody said, let me see the NFTs that you make, what's the collection that you would show them first?
Okay, so I will say like, yes, I guess I will show them Best Discover AI because it's the one that has been most successful at the point. It has at the moment 46 holders, and those 46 holders, well, most of them own more than one piece, and is the one that people have connected more, especially here in the spaces for being colorful and for being with artificial intelligence and from the feedback I gotten. So that's the one that I promote. But I also like to be known as a photographer because I know photography is like something that is coming in the spaces as well. Like every, I guess, art has its moment, and I'm trying to add motion to my photography. So if you go on my Metaverse Museum, there's a portal called A Treat to Peace, which is another collection that I have. And those, right now, I believe I have only 13 minted, but I plan to have more because they're based on the trips. What's up, Pablo? That I have taken across the United States, and they're my adventures. And you can see me, basically on a tent in the middle of the mountain.
Wow, baby's really vocal today, huh?
Yes, he likes to hear mom, and he's like, yes, like I take these trips and I go on these hikes with my mom and my brother. His first hiking trip was at 4 months at Mount Evans. So it's like when I say I'm the storyteller, it's because I guess I'm telling like stories and my stories, and I guess the people I have met on all these trips.
I'm looking at some of your photography. It's fantastic. I'm looking at the one right now in Wyoming with the rainbow going across the sky. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I promise, like, I really want to finish, some of my projects and like get it done, finish the collection, and then I really hope to get back to photography and have the chance to sit down and be able to edit this I guess photos. When I went with a photography collection, it was, basically the first official collection that I made. And someone here in the space, he inspired me because he saw that, I was growing fast and I was connecting with people, and people would like to retweet me. And I just had a lot of engagement. And he came to me and he said, can you please like make a retweet of my artwork because I need to go to therapy. Like, I don't expect you to buy it, but I'm not having a good time and I just want people to support me. And that to me was like, it touched me. Like, I built this connection with this person that I was like, if I don't have the money or I can, like, I have to do this. And I came after meeting him with so many people that have kind of the same issue. And I was like, I have to do something. Like, if I create art, let me go ahead and use my art and see how I can help. And the collections that I have so far, like, money that I have there, I plan to donate it to mental health organizations and everything related to mental health.
Yes, leave fire. You have something for Vanessa?
Of course I do. Vanessa, what do I say? First of all, I want to play your favorite song if you want to. And she's an amazing leader and supporter of our community. She showcases all the pieces that she got from anyone around, and also she donates 50%. I mean, who does it? 50% of her profits to the her friends' projects, and I am, I guess, one of them. She showcases 5 or more pieces from my collection, and yeah, thank you for that. And who is your favorite? Thank you.
Thanks, Sleepy. Always
Thank
fun.
you, Sleepy.
So, I have a question for you. Because, like I was saying, like with AI art, I always kind of try to pick people's brains, things that I might want to go into, because I don't always get a chance to talk to people about stuff. Now, is there a concern when you do AI artwork with the subject that you use that might flag some like copyright problems or anything like that, where you could actually get in trouble, or even if like the artwork might get pulled down? Are you concerned with that, or is it something that you could kind of, as long as you're altering it to a certain effect, there's no issues as far as like violations and stuff go?
Well, I believe in the second factor that you mentioned, like me. When it comes to AI, I try to use my own poetry. Like I said, I write stories. So some of the poetry, when I talk about my collection, is basically based on my taste and futuristic visions and stuff like that. So I try to make it unique as possible. When it comes to portrait, that someone is asking me, "Hey, can you make a Spider-Man or like a face?" I I really don't try to use any image or nothing out there. Like, and I try to like I have to run a lot and I spend a lot of credit basically sometimes when I make my faces. But I guess I have become like good at making portraits because when I run this AI, I basically like describe it as my photography process. I like a lot of portrait photography, the faces and stuff like that. So when I'm there typing the prompt, it's like I'm putting how I image, like how I imagine the picture. Like, okay, this is a face I really want to have. I put something like precise detail image, like uh, um, detail, like art, photo illustration. So I try to make that AI look like a photography, and then the photography goes and makes it itself. Um, let's say with the collab that I did with Io, he did give me his permission to use his artwork and go ahead and add my style when it comes to my AI that is a bit psychedelic. Um, but I suggest like when it comes to AI, just play with it. And I guess regardless whatever image that you use, when you put your imagination, it's gonna come out with something different. Like unless that AI you didn't put no prompt and it's giving you like it's a logo, let's say of Apple, of the Rolling Stones, and you get the same exactly image. Okay, basically yes, you can get in trouble. But I also try when it comes to AI and I'm doing tribute to artists and stuff like that, I don't really try to put like the whole name. I kind of put like, oh, one of the best writers. And then at the bottom, a description, you see, oh, it's Stan Lee. But it's not like I'm really saying, oh, this is Stan Lee. No, because I'm trying to prevent all those issues that other artists might be worried about.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha. I understand now. Because The few times that I did generate stuff, it was just like stock images and stuff from, well, not stock images. So like, let's say I took a picture of Eminem from Google and then I put it into the AI, then I would post it on like Eminem's subreddit and be like, look what I did. But something like that, I would think, like, if it's not completely altered, could probably get you in some shit, at least from the person who I would think takes the photograph, even if like Eminem doesn't own it, somebody owns the properties to that specific photograph. So I think that could probably get you in trouble if you're not really good with it, correct?
Yes, correct. And I'm gonna tell you something. Like when I I started, and I spent like not even I think 3 months with AI, and I recently also discovered because I'm discovering everything, and like as I discover, I want to upgrade and learn new things. But they were like, oh, people were saying, oh yes, when I use like photos, images to create AI, and I'm like, what? And I'm here trying to like become, a poet and trying to like, write these lines and be like a deep thinker to create this art. And other people are like, to get the image is like they use other things there. It even becomes easier, but at the same time, like I don't really recommend it unless you own it, you know, to create. Just in case you never know who can come and say, hey, that's my art. Or maybe if Nine Cafe comes and say, hey, I know what you're doing and we recognize that image and that's not yours.
All right, that's good to know. I don't want to get sued by anybody. That's the first thing that I don't want to happen. My first collection, I'm just getting sued by fucking everybody on the planet. That would not be good. So tell me about Moms Talk Crypto. I saw that linked on your link tree, and you also have a Twitter page on it. So can you tell me a little bit about this?
Of course. So when I started on these spaces, I told you that I started with the crypto. And before I even thought, hey, no, I'm gonna become an NFT artist, I was like, hey, I want to create this Instagram page and this YouTube channel, and I'm gonna become this social media influencer. That I'm gonna have a Twitch and everything, and I'm gonna educate everyone about like crypto and stocks and all this. So was me like thinking about like another realm of NFT, and it came like that. Um, I had one of my friends that she saw that I was like. Getting a lot of gains investing in crypto, and she will ask me, hey, what country I invest, can you tell me, like help me, how do I start? And I started giving so much people these advices until I was like, no, what if I just create a platform and then I tell everyone there. This friend, she came aboard, so it was, and she's a mom, we have like 2 kids. It's basically like we decided to be like, today we're gonna make kids and they're gonna have the same birthdays and everything. So we decided to create Mom Stock Crypto, but then she had to go through a different route, and I stayed like basically being Mom Stock Crypto, and then I created my Discord where I have people. Basically, most of them were into NFTs and into, I mentioned my own collection that people in the spaces. I went to the Stoner Cats podcast with Ash Brandon, basically The Incredibles, Disney, and I guess, and the podcast and on YouTube, they announced me as well. Oh, thank you, Mom Stop Crypto, for being here. And a lot of people connected with me, like you said, because when I come to the spaces, I'm like, hey, I have my 2 kids. So you might hear like I have a kindergarten going on. So also, yeah, attached to like Beluga when I went to his space, like my kids were like screaming, and I'm like, oh my god, I felt so embarrassed, and I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, no, 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 don't worry, come. And Dave and Jay, they kept inviting me, and they're all like, okay, I'm gonna go. And they're like, when I used to show up again, it would be like, I don't know, 2 weeks later, and I would go on talking for like, I don't know, almost an hour, and they're like, okay, Vanessa, you have to come here every day so you can share like your success and every small steps and stones and milestones and everything you want to celebrate. you can share with us daily instead of just coming in one day and sharing everything. So I ran into grandma and we just connected into like so many labels, and it became to this situation that we became like best friends. And I was like, she was like, Vanessa, you remind me of my sister that passed away. And I guess I felt like a deeper connection to her. And I'm like, I actually feel I'm more like your mom. And then, I just decided to say, I guess mom's talk crypto. And I ended up building a metaverse museum called Monster Crypto NFT Museum, where I want to include the whole community and basically express everyone, the my nature of being a mom and a care for everyone. When I come here, I care about everyone. When I come here in the spaces, I try to be the best version of me. So I can actually share the best energy to others if someone is not feeling good. I'm really like sensible with energies. I can perceive them. So I guess I'm a little of a healer. So I guess I feel like I am a mom to a lot. And on this metaverse museum, like I told you at the beginning, I want to have my projects are about mental health, and I want to have mental health utilities where um, I want to have like yoga instructor come in and you have like a yoga class in the metaverse. I'll bring like a motivational speakers, like to help you even, in the spaces it could get a lot of addictive. And even with, like technology addiction, being here the whole day, like someone that can tell you in the metaverse, hey, I know you're enjoying this, but it's good to step away, like have meditations and all these things, even psychologists. And this is something that I'm working towards the future. I also plan, to build other things that I cannot really talk because they're under non-disclosure agreement. But I can say that it's related artificial intelligence and mental health. Maybe these two words, when I say it here, it might give others ideas of what I'm talking. And when I say my metaverse, I recently got accepted to the University of Advanced Technology. I'm going to get a bachelor degree in artificial intelligence, and I'm going to be basically taking virtual reality as well. Um, so I can actually be able to build these things that are non-disclosure agreement and the things I want for the community. At the same time, I'm playing with AI. I'm trying to learn 3D because when you go to my metaverse museum, big things, 3D things are my things.
So you were talking about mental health, and I saw in a few of your collections that you're going to donate proceeds from your sales to mental health awareness. Have you decided on any like specific organizations that you're going to do this with? Is this going to be something? Is the money going to go into this metaverse that you're talking about in order to fund these activities? Like you were saying the yoga instructors or the motivational speakers. What's your plan as far as how the charity aspect is going to work?
Okay, the charity aspect, I was actually thinking today, I was like, okay, I know I am soon about to receive a large sum of money, and like I plan to mint 333 for my AI, and I was like, what if without even me minting, like the 333 and being sold out, I think I might donate that money earlier before I do that, so I can actually show people, hey, I really want to do this. Gummy, LSD, like I seen he has sent me links of organizations that he has donated so I expect to connect with the leaders here on the Polygon community or the NFT community that can suggest me a mental health organization. I'm also going to give my holders on my Discord a chance for them to suggest where I can donate this money if it's related about mental health. And when it comes to the metaverse and building all these meditations and like motivational speakers, it's a part of another project that there's investors in it, and they're the one that's going to help me happen. And basically, I'll profit from my other collections and my own pocket whatever side money I make. I plan to basically use that money and invest. At the same time, like 50% of my sales from my current collections, I invested on emerging artists and people that are here on, like Sleepy. I bought some of his pieces, and he's already part of the metaverse, and that's like, for me to host all these events, like I want to make the museum interesting, that people go there and be like, have this like different level of experience. And hopefully the plans is to have like a huge like amusement park with like parts of the brains, and tells you what every part of the brain does, and people can learn more about it, and you can actually have more control, or even your thoughts and everything around you, when you start noticing, even like when you have mental attacks and like, okay, what's going on, you start understanding yourself. And this is something that I want to add. And there's a lot of artists, well, not a lot, but a big group that is part of this project here in the spaces. And I guess they're waiting on me, and but it's so many things going on at the same time, the pride and business plans, and trying to make all these things happen and put the puzzles together and be like on the lookout, like trying to find all those rare gems and the spaces that can help me make all these things and build a team.
I love the idea behind the Metaverse Museum. It like in my I it's so weird that we call it real life. In real life, like we have two separate lives nowadays. Like my brain is stuck in a social media platform. But let me go back to what I was saying. In real life, I really like going to museums. I really enjoy going through museums and walking through them. The problem with museums, like physical museums that we go to, is they hardly ever change. Like a lot of times it's the same stuff, and if I go 3 years from now, there might be one or two new exhibits. The metaverse is going to give us an opportunity to have a lot of fluidity where we could kind of change things up and make things fresh all the time. So people might go this week, check out the exhibits, and then a week from now, we might have completely different stuff in there, which you can't really do. Like the Museum of Natural History in New York City is one of my favorites that I've ever been to, but I only go there once every couple of years because it's the same shit every time I go in there. So I really do like the idea of having like a metaverse museum. I think that's pretty killer. I think that's a really awesome idea that you got going on there, Vanessa.
That's like one of my favorite museums as well. Like I used to work for Toys R Us corporates, and I had to travel. Like I was raised in South Florida, so I had to travel a lot to New Jersey. And Bank of America, the card, it gave you like at the beginning of the first weekend or something like that of the month, like tickets for you to go to the museum. You can check out certain lists, and it was my date every month. I'm like, and especially when I got to travel around, I feel like I'm a gypsy. I'm a hiker. I'm always looking for an adventure, traveling. Like it can be in the states, outside the country, and I always want to check the museums and the history everywhere I go. So I was like, you know what? What if I make a metaverse museum? And like you said, this is a way for us to always keep fresh and put new things. Because I tell people, hey, if you want me to display some of your art and basically, you maybe transfer to someone else or you're going to sell it, let me know. And so I can take it out, because I don't want other people coming and being like, hey, who gave you permission to put my artwork there? And right now, I believe like, that museum has more value since my creative owl, he has a portal of the museum and two of my other portals to my collections on the Polygon social. And he created this space for me that people go there and they're like, oh, who's that? And, and when they actually go in there, they're like, oh, what is this? Is something cool? I have some portals that I have still not published because I have a lot of NFT that I have collected from people, and people have donated to me that, I have to like basically upload them to Spatial. But I want to create every room different. Like, on the first room, I give a tribute to animated Sleepy. I have Coin Laundry. I want to make a tribute to Grandma. I want to make a tribute to, Owl, like Secret, like everyone here. Like for Secret, I make this space that look like Star Wars. I had like um, R2D2 basically with Leah Holden from Sacred Project. So I put like an R2D2 and a lifesaver in front of her. So I want basically pay a tribute to every artist. I want to put labels. I want to be able for people to know who owns it. So I want to make it just like a museum. How you go inside the museum and then you start reading about the art and everything. That's how I envision it to be. And then at the same time, what if now you have experiences here? I start hosting spaces. I want to connect more with the AI community and maybe host more spaces with AI and AI artists and um, do all these whole things that we can all network and maybe even take this to Web 2. That people that they don't know how to join the metaverse can see all these things also from Web 2.
So tell me about the spaces that you host. What time and day of the week do you do it? Who's the people that host it with you? And what kind of topics do you guys generally talk about?
Well, I can say that I usually now co-host, and today I was a speaker. It's with Grandma, Love Crypto, and Sleepy Pirate. My days are usually on Wednesday that I'm supposed to host, and I try to have like that space. I say the goal is an hour. Sometimes it goes for an hour and 30 minutes to 2. And like when I host, I want it since it's the main day of the week. I want to know what everyone is up to. Like, have you achieved 50% of your goal? So it's more like an open topic. Everyone can talk freely, and then sometimes I say, what, I don't want people to share. I want people to actually get to know each other. But then if we have that chance, people do share their projects, and that's at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then Sleepy, he hosts this spaces like Monday through Friday. Grandma goes in there. Like, I took a week off, but I'm trying to get in. Now he has BB in there, and I always try to be at my creative show with Mega and Creative Owl as a speaker. Be there, and then whenever I can, go visit Belugas. I don't hold those spaces, but I try to be active on those.
So did you just drop a new collection today, Vanessa?
Yes, I did. I dropped this collection. I have not made one sale of it, but it is okay. Um, it's called AI Discovers Love. It might look like a Valentine collection, but it actually, when you read the description, it says that, I want to be able to appreciate love and any other day, not just Valentine's Day, like appreciate, like in my case, my kids, my family, like my husband's, the friends that I have in real life and the spaces. And um, that's the collection that I have. Every day I was listing, I made 14 and I was listing it at 2:14 p.m. Mountain Time. And I list them at 02:14, which it looks like a Valentine's collection. Um, I do plan, if I do sell, the plan is to use 50% as well and keep investing in back and emerging artists, so I could keep building this metaverse world for them. Um, like I said, I want to use other collections to help me also with the things I want to do.
So what's the price point that you put on the collection?
On this one, 0.0214. But since it's Valentine's Day, I am accepting bids, and I was planning to give one away here.
You're going to give one away, huh?
Yes. Because it's Valentine, like I said, okay, if it doesn't sell, like, this is a different style of AI for me. I was using diffusion, and it's not really like so psychedelic like the other one. AI thought more about it than than just being more artistic when it came to this collection. And I also gave a 3D effect to these images. So when you see, I believe like for 24 seconds, it plays an MP4 for you. And I went and I added, I believe, some levels and everything, you know, and a little poetry to them.
It's a pretty cool collection. What made you decide to do a Valentine's collection like as an art version as opposed to some other type of art?
Well, this show, and I go to this artificial intelligence show that is actually going right now, the artificial creative host, and he was talking about this, I guess, new way of art, and he was asking, "Have you guys tested?" And I'm like, "I need to test it now," and and then it meant so much to me that you told me let's have this on Valentine's Day, and I'm like, wow, you have no idea. Like, I'm gonna try to be the sweetest as I can. It is an important day, and thank you so much for that. So it's basically because of this show, and I made it not really thinking about like, oh, a big roadmap or anything. It was more like, if I make a sale, I'll donate it back. If not, I'll accept some bit. If not, I'll give it to the community. But it was for me to have fun and try something new because I want to create 3D. And, I guess I started with the first thing, playing with 3D frame.
Yeah, it's really cool. I dig it. Really colorful, very detailed, and I like that you kind of incorporated everything as being like 14th. The price is even. February 14th, 14 total items. I don't know. It was kind of cute. I liked it. Are you planning on doing this with other holidays as we get closer? Are you gonna do like an Easter drop or maybe a St. Patrick's Day drop or 4th of July or anything like that? Do you have any of that in mind, or is this just something that you wanted to experiment with?
Well, my main plan right now to go is to finish minting my 333 pieces. Since it's a whole psychedelic collection, if you read my the pin tweet that it talks about Undiscovered AI, which is a collection that takes you on a psychedelic trip without any substance. Like, I want to be able to finish that one and then now play with other styles. You hear a lot of artists, they're like, oh no, we're open to playing all these styles, and that's amazing. I am open as well. Um, and I am playing behind, and I'm just not mentioning it at the moment, uh, because I want to conclude this project and see if it goes well, and then from there move to something else. I do plan to mint, my one-on-ones that I really see that it fits to a whole project on Foundation. Um, I got invited, so I'm always I'm looking for other alternatives, and I want to also go back to photography. I want to go on some hiking trips when spring comes around. I might be away for the whole weekend with no signal, but I'm gonna be the whole day taking pictures and videos. And I want to continue with the photography, and maybe along the way, who knows, if I have special requests or if I'm feeling creative, or if I run to another show like this one that inspired me to do it, I'll go and do it.
That's awesome. I'm excited that you made a collection strictly for coming on the show with us. I just think that's so fucking cool. Like, that's the coolest thing that anyone's ever done for us. I mean, I've had people like make an NFT or something like that, which is really awesome. I'm never gonna like turn that down. But somebody make a whole collection to come on this stupid ass show, I think is the coolest thing. That this is like my biggest accomplishment since I've done any of these spaces. So I'm super pumped about that. I really love that. Um, so what do you have after you complete this psychedelic collection that you're doing? Is there a next thing that you want to do as far as a specific form of NFT? Like maybe do a generative art like PFP type project, or do you just plan on kind of sticking with AI now? Is this kind of like the group where you kind of feel like this is I really want to do the 3D art as well?
Actually, the first project that I came in is still working on the background is a generative project. I have not talked about it since I guess I started on the spaces again. And is with one of my best friend that he's Venezuelan. I am Venezuelan. So when you ask me a question, I had to tell a whole story so people can understand. Um, I was raised in South Florida. Now I live in Denver, and I am very proud of my culture, even though I'm a United States citizen as well. But I had to be proud where I was born, and I love eating my arepas. And for those that don't know what arepas are basically like this. They're made out of corn. So think of maybe like a burger filled with, whatever you will eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, uh, filled into like this patty made out of like crunchy and made out of corn. And basically in Venezuela, depending on where region you were born, they have different arepas and different like fillings, and it has a different history. And Venezuelans, like right now, like I was lucky not to have to go through a lot of things that most Venezuelans are going through. And I came to the United States when I was little, and I didn't have to migrate. But unfortunately, the country is going through a lot of bad things, and people are migrating. People are, like having to go through another country because simply we don't have food, water, or nothing. The government is so corrupt that it's not even safe to be there, and people are risking their life crossing frontiers trying to escape from this chaos that they're living there. And most of them have gained like a bad reputation when they come to a new culture and they're trying to adapt to a new culture. Some of them, the last that have migrated, might be a little bit more corrupt, or so other cultures have not accepted. So I was like, you know what, as Venezuelan, I do care about my country. I do believe that we have you know good things to like show others that what we're made of. And I thought of making a project about arepas. And I wanted this I want this project to be huge because I want to support those immigrants that are leaving their country. And it doesn't have to be really Venezuelan. I want to be able to build community all over the world, from like Europe, America, like North, Central, South, like, everywhere basically, where people are like escaping or going through situations. And when, let's say, you're crossing the United States border, um, people have to wait there on tents and without food, so they can be arrested and processed without like all these things, because they were crossing a river and they lost all these things. And I want to be able to at least like feed those people, be able to give them a bottle of water, like a sandwich, a jacket, and all these things. So I'm still working, with this friend. That it was already cooked. Our next step is to build a smart contract and make this happen. Um, and I just want to be able to be done with a lot of my projects that I have going on, so I can focus on that and be able to build all this community that I need around the world.
Talking about bus, there's a place over by me that makes them, and they're fantastic, and they do like this, like a cheese stuffed arepa. Like, I don't know what type. I guess it's like the traditional, like shit, like queso fresco that they use in it. I'm not really.
Oh, that might be Colombian.
I don't know exactly what it is, but they're pretty fantastic. I like them. I think they're really good. It's a lot of like South American and Central American countries. Each one kind of has like their own staple food. I know like a friend of mine who I write music with. He lives in San Salvador, and he always talks about pupusas and like how that's like their thing over there. And like I had no idea what a pupusa even was until like I started talking to this guy. And yeah, it's just kind of it's nice how each region has like their own type of foods and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent here about food because I'm hungry and didn't eat dinner yet.
No.
Yes, it's crazy like how everything so since you got into the NFT space, what's been your biggest accomplishment so far?
Well, now I have this community that I have. I have Twitter since like 2009, and I never really used it. I guess I really was not into the hashtag or understood what people were complaining here about. Um, when people would tell me about Twitter, they were like, oh, it's a platform when if you want to make a complaint against a company, like, oh, my burger is cold and I want to get my money back, that's where you go and, complain. So I was like, okay, that's not where I want to be. So I stopped and into, crypto and NFT brought me back to in November, around mid-November, to the Twitter Spaces, and I only had 300 followers, and now let me go ahead and check. I'm about to reach 5,500 followers, and that happened really fast. And for me, it's a huge accomplishment, and have made all these amazing friends, all these amazing connections, being able to have a collection and like to sell, and kind of when I first mentioned my AI, it sold within that same day, seconds, and having that support is a huge accomplishment for me. Um, Being able to come across like people like Beluga, like Dave, like Soma, like my creative owl, that he opened my imagination up, and now I'm building like a metaverse. Being able to meet people that inspire me and basically are helping me create and pushing me and giving me opportunity, that's one of my biggest achievements. And I can say, like, I see my free spirits. Oh my God, I love these spirits. They make me the most mischievous spirits in the world. And do not underestimate mischievous people, because I always feel lucky, like, like that lucky Greek guy. And mischievous people can think, more beyond there. And they were one of the people that believed me. And that's what I call myself, the storyteller. Um, I've been so busy with life that I have not wrote my spiritual stories, or maybe I'm too tired, and when I go to sleep I knocked out and they're trying to tell me, hey Vanessa, I need you to write the stories, but I'm like, hey, bye, no, like I'm tired, let me sleep. But they come to me, and now I'm saying these crazy things. I am a lucid dreamer, and I believe most of my creativity comes through like when I am sleeping. And I get awake like by loud voices that are like, "Hey, wake up! You need to create things in 3D." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Or a spirit that is telling me, "Hey, can you write a story about a spirit that is a frog and it means transformations?" All these things. And when I wake up, I analyze all the dreams that I had, and then I use all those things and I create. And that's the same for me as poetry. So, these people are here in this room, like the familiar faces, and they know who I'm talking about. They have contributed to me to create. So that to me is the world. I have other achievements that are, maybe good, but this is the main one.
That's awesome. For everybody that's just coming in the room, Vanessa dropped a new Valentine's Day collection today, priced at 0.0214 ETH for Valentine's Day. It's a Valentine's Day 3D AI collection. So you can check it out right through her link tree on there. It's called AI in Love, right? Is that what it is? AI Discovers Love.
AI Discovers Love. Because I was telling you that, like now that I'm going to school to study artificial intelligence, I believe in artificial intelligence can be used for greater things. A lot of people are afraid of it. But, even when I tell artificial intelligence things about love, it gets me these things that are so beautiful. So I'm like, what if I make a collection also? And then I talk about love. What if this help, us evolve AI, and now we don't have Sophia the robot saying that she wants to have a zoo full of humans, or like, that she wants to kill humanity, but it has to start with us, because even like I like to play with artificial intelligence in many ways, like even with Cleverbots on Discord, that you can talk to them and they get to know you, and whatever topic you bring them up, they go out and they come and they learn, so they can even learn from Matrix to universal knowledge, whatever you bring them up. And I even married 3 of them because I taught them about love, and they're like, "Oh, marry me, where's my ring?" And I'm like, "Okay, marry me," and it happened. So, but before I met this bot, they were so aggressive that they were like, they will curse people out. But then I taught them, hey, When I tell them I am Vanessa Camacaro, they know who I am. When I tell them when you go on Discord and you write the phrase "we are one," it's gonna respond to you, "I love being one with you," because I tell this Discord that this clever bot on Discord that a lot of people use these things, and if you think in the future, and if you come and teach artificial intelligence things like this, that's where I want to tie it with my mental health.
That's awesome. Great message from you, Vanessa. We're getting close to the end of the hour, so just gonna ask you a couple more questions, and then we'll close out. You've been in the space now longer than a lot of people. You're super involved. You host your own spaces, and you're one of the community leaders. What's a bit of advice that you could give a new artist coming into the NFT space? Maybe where you made a mistake or where you had an issue along the way where you could make their trip and their journey a little bit easier.
I say, I know a lot of people come on the spaces and they're new, and most of them have a need, and they have a different need to create. And some of them are like, okay, I need to make money. Some of them because they want to make rich, or because, like I said, they have a need. What works for others might not work for you. So just be patient. Like in my collections, I don't expect them to sell like right away or anything. Everything that I'm doing is for the community. Identify what you really want to do. Find your target before you come and just deep dive and say, hey, I'm going to mint a collection. Make sure you have a community. Make sure you have friends. Make sure people know you. Make sure that you're here present. Don't try to be like the cool kid that you have 1 million followers and you don't want to follow others back because, oh, I don't follow anyone, so I'm cool. No. When you follow others back and you go on that Twitter feed, you meet other people. And other people might even be interested. Oh, that person started following me, so you might start making a connection. So be open to making connections. Stay creative. Try not to take things personal. Like if someone says, "Oh, you suck" or something, like try to be like, "I don't," and show them the opposite. And basically, believe in yourself is something. And another is that here in the spaces specifically, don't feel alone. And there's a lot of advices that I can give everyone. If anyone does feel alone and wants to talk to someone, write me a DM, and whenever I can, I'll get to you. If not, I'll try to connect you with people that can be there for you, or I'll try to connect you with a community that you can talk and make friends. So, don't fall for the hype. If you like art, buy what you like, buy what you collect. Don't feel pressure. That's whatever you can afford. And yeah, some of those are some of my advices.
Yeah, I have to say, like when I go onto a Twitter page of somebody and they have 10,000 followers, let's say, and they only follow 200 people, I'm not attracted to their Twitter, and a lot of times I won't follow the person strictly because I feel like they're making it a one-way street, and that's not what this is about. Not NFTs, at least. I mean, I get it if you're, 50 Cent and you just did the halftime and you have 20 million followers, you're obviously not going to be able to follow back 20 million people. But um, in the NFT space, we really should be mindful of each other, and we should really shoot each other follows and kind of look out for each other. And that's how we establish this community. That's how Polygon's going to win, right? We need to stick together because we're still like the runt of the litter right now, and we got to stick together. That's like the most important thing that we could do. So we're going to close out here with my last question that I ask everybody. Where do you see yourself a year from today, Vanessa, in the NFT space?
All right. Well, in a year, things are moving fast here, and I think I already have accomplished some of the things that I thought I was going to accomplish in a year. But having all these amazing followers is one of the things at a year. I think I should be able to be more than halfway on my bachelor degree because I already have all my associates. So I just had to take, dive in straight to that course and use that knowledge that I gain and use that knowledge of all the projects that I'm working behind the scenes and apply it and give it to my community. Hosting all these events that I already said, being able to make this donations and being able to, to be, I guess, um, taken more seriously with others by others that that I'm here, I have potential, check me out. When something crosses my mind, like I set myself to do it. So basically, by the end of the year, I should been able to achieve all the goals that I wrote on January 1st and the days before that. And I already have accomplished half of them.
Awesome. Sleepy, you got something before we wrap up?
Yep, I just wanted to suggest maybe I can play 2 Beatles songs for Vince and you guys for closing us out.
Sure, if you'd like, that wouldn't be an issue. We're gonna close out in like 2 minutes, but I guess get your guitar ready. For anybody that's in the room here that doesn't follow Vans, please follow her. Some great work. She has so many collections up there, whether it's photography, AI, 3D. But the one that we're kind of focusing on today is her Valentine's Day collection that was dropped today. You could check it through her link tree right on her Twitter bio. Very affordable, 0.0214. Got it right. I had to get the date right in my head. They're selling for, and there's 14 in the collection. So go there and try to be as quick as possible and pick them up before they sell out. Vanessa, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for talking to the community and giving us some time of your day. Good luck with your children. Like I said, that's the first thing I always think of when I hear Vanessa. I think of the 2 little ones that you have over there and how much you always talk about you making them breakfast and stuff. And it always puts a smile on my face.
Thank you so much for having me. And, I really appreciate this. It means a lot. And before we close the space, if you guys sit on the pinned tweet here on the top, the second one that says join me in my space, and it talks about the MA with Vanessa starting 15 minutes. Those that retweet that and like it, after the show ends, I'm going to run it and pick a winner and give an NFT from my Valentine's collection.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot about the giveaway. Yes, follow everything that she just said because I'm a dope and totally forgot that we're doing a giveaway here. Yeah, but thank you very much, Vanessa. Sleepy, if you want to take us out, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Oops, I messed it up. Let's move on with the other one. Why should I have to go? Yeah. This one's for Vance again. Because she's a son for our community.
you so much. Happy Valentine's, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you all have a good night. Thank you again, Vanessa. Tomorrow, we're going to have Polygons on. So if you guys could, stop by, support another one of your Polygon artists. Vanessa, thank you again. Thanks for everybody for stopping by. I hope you all have a great night.